All right, so thanks so much. We're speaking with MC Suffa. He is on the line, calling from Calgary, Alberta, on the latest North American tour for the Hilltop Hoods. Thanks for calling, MC Suffa.
How you going?
Oh, excellent. We actually spoke last year, February 10th, 2010, actually. Well, it was a while ago now. I last spoke with MC Pressure. I'm wondering if you can just fill the listeners in on generally what the band has been up to since that time in the last year or so.
Yeah, we've been up to a lot. We just put out a record, Drinking from the Sun, which we've been working on for 3 years, but really working on for last year. Did a couple of videos with that, and we did our DVD, which was a zombie film called Parade of the Dead. And yeah, we've just been doing label stuff as well. We just put out the Fun Cause record last year, and the Vents record the year before, and yeah, just been busy.
Yeah, the zombie film, I haven't seen it myself. I just kind of read about it. Can you describe what that is exactly? Is it like an extended film clip, or what are we talking about?
Sort of. It's like a mockumentary sort of thing. Like, we just wanted to do something different for our DVD. We'd done 2 before, and mix it up a little. So yeah, it's like a mockumentary. It was just something we did for shits and giggles, man. It was nothing too serious.
Yeah. Is it live action or is it animated?
It's live action. Yeah.
Wow. This is
and
cool.
It's sort of mockumentary intersliced with live concert footage.
Okay, I think I get the idea. In the great grand tradition of music mockumentaries.
The premise is that the zombie apocalypse has occurred, and we're so self-involved that we just made our DVD anyway.
Okay. Actually, a question I was going to ask a little bit later, but I'll bring it up right now because I just thought of zombies. And there's a great Canadian hip-hop artist who did a song about zombies. Do you know much about Canadian hip-hop since you're in the country here? And are there any artists that you particularly admire?
Plenty, man. Like, big fan of Sweatshop Union, Notes to Self, Decisive, back in the day, Maestro Fresh Wares, Classified and all that. Yeah, so much, man. And, you know, every time we come back, we learn more. And, like, even just, you know, our supports, like Prime Element the other night. Oh, sorry, but they work with a lot of Canadian artists, like Sweatshop and so on. But, yeah just touring, you learn a lot about, you know, Canadian music in general. But, yeah, always been a fan of, like, hip-hop globally. It's never been restricted to Australian music and American music. Yeah. I mean, back in the days, we used to bump Socrates, like, all the time, and yeah, just a bunch of Canadian artists. Yeah. Oh, Buck 65, that's who I was thinking of, who did the zombie song. Are you familiar with Buck? Yeah, he comes out to Australia a fair bit. Oh, right, okay, yeah. How's this recent tour been going? Like, have you ever been to Alberta before in your last tours? Yeah, we've been through Calgary twice now. This is our 3rd time. We came through with Classified, and we came through on our own sort of tour last time as well. So yeah, this is our 3rd time in Calgary. Yeah. And how's the tour going generally? Like, since you've started in, I guess, New York and Toronto, and it's been crazy. Like, it was our first time in the States, and the New York show was packed, and Colorado was sold out, and Toronto we played the Opera House with Decisive, which was sick. That was packed as well. And I think tonight's just about sold out, so we're pumped, man. We're having a great time. Yeah. Well, of course, this is the first time you've actually had an official US release, isn't that right? First time we're putting out officially over there with Fontana Records. Yeah. And just your own record label as well. How did that all come about? Like, I'm curious about some of the other artists that you might be mentoring
Australia-wise? On your own label.
Well, we're just a small label, like, I hate the term, but I guess like a boutique label. We established Golden Era predominantly to put out our music, but also to put out the music of people that we're friends of and fans of. So we've got an Adelaide group called Funkors, an Adelaide MC called Vince, and a MC from Victoria called Briggs. And yeah, over the last sort of 18 months, they've each put a record out, and we've been working with them really closely. I mean, like, I was pretty hands-on with the label stuff. We've got an operations manager now, but I was pretty hands-on, like, you know, day-to-day admin even as well, like, to that degree. So, yeah, it was an interesting experience. It is an interesting experience.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to help, you know, people you're friends with and fans of.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows, I mean, you're definitely trailblazers internationally, and who knows one day how many acts will follow in your path, you know. There are a lot of Australian acts that are making their way now, so it's good to see.
Yeah, well, Funkors should be over in Kanakistan soon, hopefully.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And of course, the Hilltop Hoods initiative, does that tie in with the record label, or is that kind of a separate thing?
That's a separate thing we do. That's a grant we do with APRA, which is the Australian Performers' Rights Association. So each year we give a $10,000 grant to an Australian hip-hop act to put out a record and market it and further their career. That's actually getting announced today.
Oh, brilliant. I wanted to actually, like, the radio show here that I do, we play a lot of rock and roll and indie rock, and I have so much to learn about hip hop, and I've always been curious about the process of creating a track. Can you describe how the three of you go about from scratch getting a finished song? Like, I mean, we think of rock bands who jam on riff, you know, just get a couple of guitars and start riffing away. Does someone bring in some lyrics first, or do you just get on the decks and start making something, or how is it possible to sort of describe a typical process for you guys?
Well, it usually starts with me because I produce most of our tracks. But yeah, it definitely always starts with a beat, which always starts with a break, a sample. So yeah, if you want to go to the very birth of a song, man, it always starts in the record crate. And yeah, then we take it from there. We sort of I'll build a beat and go to the guys, and nowadays we tend to write separately. We used to get together in the studio and sit around, but now we're a bit older and we like our own space.
Yeah.
So and you know, with the internet as well, you don't have to be in the same room as someone.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we sort of go away and write, and then, you know, Debris got a home studio that he built himself last year, this beautiful studio. So we all record down there, and then afterwards I usually do the mixing. Debris does a bit of mixing, and yeah, that's it, man. Like, yeah, there's no real formula to it, though. I don't think there's any rules for making a song. It doesn't matter, you know. Yeah, it can start with the birth of an idea, not necessarily. It doesn't have to necessarily follow some pattern or protocol. So.
Yeah. Cool. And just one last question too. Armageddon. Now, listeners, if you pay attention to the artwork of Hilltop Hoods and check out the website, you'll see there's a reoccurring character called Armageddon, kind of like Eddie with Iron Maiden, and he's kind of evolving and developing over the years. MC Suffa, where is he at? Where is Armageddon at these days? He looks very zen-like and composed on the cover of the latest album. He's been through a lot.
He has been through a lot.
Can you describe maybe where he's at right now? I don't
know. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Eddie, because I actually stole it from Eddie. I was an Iron Maiden fan as a kid, and I was like, man, when I have a band, we're going to have our own guy as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, I mean, we like him to sort of represent whatever's going on with the album and sort of try to tie that all together. But yeah, he is looking pretty zen on this album cover. Hopefully we're feeling pretty zen, and that's reflected in him, but I actually don't think we are. Maybe he represents where we want to be.
Yeah.